day, my dear grade 7 students. Welcome to our asynchronous class in Cookery 7, Module 4. Again, I am your teacher in Technology and Livelihood Education, Ma'am Gladeline A. Pedregosa, or you can just call me Ma'am Glad. So let's now start our lesson. So our lesson for today is about calculate cost of production. So before we begin, let's try this first. I want you to get a pen and a paper. Write in your paper, true or false. Number 1, markup is the amount added to the product price to get the selling price. Is it true or false? Write it now. Check your answer. The correct answer is true. Number 2, sales is the money earned from the sale of the product or service. Is it true or false? Check your answer. The correct answer is true. Number 3, be familiar with the prevailing prices of foods similar to what you are about to sell. True or false? The correct answer is true. Number 4, consider the customer's desire and business goals in terms of product quality. True or false? The correct answer is true. Very good. Last item, number 5. Disregard competitors of your business. Disregard competitors of your business. True or false? The correct answer is false. My dear grade 7 students, always remember that honesty is the best policy. So write your score and then we will proceed now to the next part of our lesson. Today, we will reinforce your knowledge on how to calculate cost production. Pricing a product is an important skill that anyone who wants to venture in business. Price must be computed to reflect the value of the product you are offering as compared to your competitors. You should consider carefully what your market can afford to pay your product or services. So for today, we will learn the principles of costing. We will compute cost of production. So before we get into that, let's now recall our past lesson. In the comment box, I want you to type your answer to this question. The question is, why is it important that you know the substitution of ingredients in cooking? Answer this in the comment box. Very good for those students who are now trying to answer this question. And I know that you can answer this because we've discussed this in our past lesson. Very good, my dear students. In exploring our lesson for today, I want you to answer the following question that I will be given to you. You can write it on a paper or you can just answer that while you are sitting in your chair listening to our lecture, okay? So let's start. Number 1 question. What business do you want to venture someday? And why? How will you start your business? What are the different factors that you have to consider? Common factors that influence product pricing. So there are a number of factors that influence food prices. So this includes local competition, which prevailing the prices of food similar to what you are about to sell, and then the type of customer, your customer, and what they value. That is very important. Number 3, local of business. Good location may support a higher prices than a poor one. And number 4, desired profit. How much profit you would like to realize. So those are the factors that influence the product pricing. Again, pricing the product is very important. Creating a competitive product pricing strategy is the next step that you need to learn for us to be able to know the cost of the product. So first, knowing and understanding the market. So this means that you will have to consider carefully what your market can afford to pay and obtain your target financial share. Next, analyzing the competition. It is important to study the competition around you. Focus more on your service and quality advantages as well as the uniqueness of your product. Knowing your product costs. A basic principle of pricing is the ability to cover your costs and then factor this in a profit. You can only know how to do this if you calculate how much was spent in producing the product. Next is decide on your revenue target. How much you would like to target? After determining this factor in your expenses in producing, marketing, and selling your product, it is the time you can derive a price that you want to charge per product. Knowing where the market is headed is also important. It is always good to have a futuristic attitude. You can start by keeping track of outside factors that will affect the demand of your product in the future. Determining the selling price of purchased product. How are we going to determine it? In determining the selling price of a product, here are the terms to familiarize yourself. Purchase price. This is the price of the product you bought for selling. Markup, the amount that is added to the purchase price to get the selling price. The selling price, this is the retail price or the amount you will sell the goods to customer. Sales is the money earned from the sale of a product or a service. What are the free items? The free items or the ingredients used in a product that must be included in the production cost like salt, pepper, condiments, sugar, and sauces. How are we going to compute for the cost plus profit price? One of the goals in business is to gain profit. So how are we going to compute for cost plus profit price? So here are the steps. Number 1, determine your production costs. It may include the following: ingredients or materials, the transportation, the facilities, the labor and salaries, packaging, and others. And then you're going to add it all. That will be the total production cost. Second step is to determine the number of items or the products that you produce. Next step is compute for the item cost. How to compute the item cost? The total production cost divided by the number of items is the per item cost. And then the next step, determine your markup or how much is added to each item cost for profit. So you should put a reasonable amount, not too high and not too low. It is usually expressed in percentage. Again, markup represents percentage. Add the per item cost, the profit and margin of each item, and the result will be your selling price. So here is an example. An example is a chicken afritada. The production cost, including what are the production costs? Let's say the chicken, the vegetables, the condiments, the oil, the gas that they use. So the production cost is worth 400 pesos. The numbers of serving for the 400 pesos is 10. The item cost is 40. Again, how to get the item cost? The production cost divided by the numbers of serving is equal the item cost. So that will be 40 pesos. The markup is 30%. So we will get the 30% of 40 pesos. 40 times 0.30 is equals to 12 pesos. So add item cost and markup. So 40 plus 12 pesos is equals to 52 pesos. So the selling price is 52 pesos, which could be rounded off to a lower or higher selling price. So the selling price is 52 pesos. So later on, I will let you apply what we are learning today. Before we get into that, let's now match the term in column A with their description in column B. Write the letter of the correct answer on the space provided before each number.
your answer. 1E, 2C, 3B, 4A, and 5B. Let's remember, the cost plus profit price is very simple and practical method of computing for the selling price of your product. It includes factoring in all your expenses, determining the number of items or product, computing for the item cost, determining markup expressed in percentage, and adding the per item cost and profit margin for each item. Let's apply. Direction. Compute for the selling price of buko pandan dessert and show your computation. Use a separate sheet of paper. Let's evaluate. Direction. Determine the selling price of cupcake using the recipe and information below. Show your computation. Use a separate sheet of paper if necessary. Let's extend. To further enrich your learning about cost production, browse the link below. Video title, Food Costing and Pricing.
After applying what you have learned today, I hope that you learn how to calculate the cost of production. Remember that cookery is not just cooking, you also need to think and to strategize how to have a profit in the food that you're going to cook. By calculating the cost of production, you will be able to get your answer. So that's it for today. I hope that we will meet again next week. And I am your Technology and Livelihood Education teacher, Ma'am Gladylyn Pedregosa. And see you next week. Goodbye!